Hello guys, Room 6 here, and welcome back to finally a brand new video in sim racing. Whoa. I'm also kind of starting a new sort of series. It's kind of just a series of videos. It's not like an official series or anything. But basically, they're all going to be based around this same concept, where I take a race that exists in real life, and I try and win said race in a car that will never race in that race, but has a chance to compete and win. Like, for example, in today's video, of course, as you can tell by the title, we're trying to win the Indy 500 in heavy quotation marks because it's only a 10-lap race with a Porsche 919. So, yeah, you would have. It's quite an unlikely pairing, this, but it does work surprisingly well. Now I'm going to run it in the base setup first. I do have a setup made for it, but I'm going to run it in baseline first, just kind of show you what happens. And yes, we're starting from the back in a grid of 10 Indy cars, and we're going to try and push our way to the front. You're going to see the problem with this baseline setup very soon. Having to brake there because we got massively cut off. We've been spun. But that was a great way to start. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah, the AI are on high skill and high aggression, so it's not going to be easy to beat them. Right, so you see we're running a hybrid, so we kind of have to go on the button a bit, and we're going to see the big problem coming down this back straight. You see, look, the car seems pretty competitive. But here we go. Literally cannot go any faster. I'm fully on the button. 211 miles an hour is the top speed. We're never going to win the Indy 500 with that kind of pace. So, as I slam on the brakes and try and cause a massive accident intentionally this time, which I didn't, we are going to restart the session and load the Indy setup. Now, I need to make a slight adjustment to it. So, basically, let me just explain what I've done. I've extended the final gear, or not the final gear, sorry, the 7th gear ratio out to 241 miles an hour, because none of the other gears really need adjusting. They're all pretty much fine where they are. Tyres, nothing's changed there. The medium compounds of the default pressure settings work fine. Decreased fuel, because you know the fuel we had was too much. Traction control off to kind of help get a bit more oomph out of the car. MGUK, that's why I need to change down to charging so that it doesn't automatically deploy, so it's all going to be down to the button. Aero massively decreased, alignment, all of this stuff, nothing's been changed. Suspension, as you can see, the anti-roll bar settings have been changed, as well as the wheel rates. So, just to make it turn in a bit easier. We're also running, as you can see, the hood cam. Just because there's a bug with these where you get in the camera view and everything becomes really bright, and you literally can't see anything around this track with that camera view. So, yeah. Right, you're going to see now what happens with this setup. I need to be pretty much on the button to get a good launch, to really punch my way up to the top. I'm going to lift off the button now, kind of just hold it out here, and we're going to get massively squeezed. Going to slip into the draft on the button again. See, this car can be competitive, but it needs the button, basically. And the issue is, as you're going to see, is that we're going to have to do some good MGUK save, or good saving of the ERS, because all we have is the MGUH. MGUK is literally useless in this race because we're not braking. We don't need to brake. We barely even need to lift off. But in theory, we don't want to lift off because that will cut the turbo and therefore reduce the amount of power we get out of the MGUH. So, of course, we got to play this very smart. It's not easy, I'm telling you, especially if there's another car up in the mix. So I'm going to try and get in front of them. I'm going to hold the button a bit down and waste out a load of power but that's going to throw us out into the lead, which isn't going to last very long, let me tell you that much. But it apparently is. They both kind of checked up a little bit. I don't know why, but they did. And them two are going to scrap it out, and they'll eventually catch back up to me. But that's fine. I'm just going to let the MGU-H charge the battery up a little bit more, and then get into the draft and push it on again. Because that'll give us a lot more welly in the draft, obviously, than it would out of it. So, and this is pretty much where I want to try and stay for the rest of this race. In the draft, and pretty much just trying to keep as much power as I can, and not let him get too far away at the same time. So you see, there's quite a lot of things to balance, and I'm pretty much going to have to, you know, staying at him first is just going to cause me to have to use more hybrid power, which isn't what we want, of course. So, as you can tell, this car has a massive advantage in the corners as well. I'm just going to lightly sort of apply it on. They typically reach about 225 miles an hour down these straights, so that's where we should be good. Of course, some points we are going to be able to jump him and commit side by side, but we're not going to be able to overtake because we're not going to be on the button. That's just going to bring it up to speed. See that? I'm not going to touch him. The speed's going to even out. Oh, we nearly touched there though. Went side by side, holy shit. Yeah, so this setup is pretty much as good as I'm going to get it. You probably can find some magical setting that will help you out here. I couldn't be bothered to. This does the job fine enough. And I mean, either way, it's going to come down to power anyways. The only real way you're going to be able to save time is by reducing your speed loss through the corners. Which I can tell you ain't going to be an easy thing to do. Of course, that has kind of played the cards against us coming down here. I'm going to have to use a little bit more hybrid than I really wanted to. But it doesn't seem to have gone too badly. We got a good run in there. Yeah, pretty much what we need is to stay within enough range so that on the final lap, I could just do a big old burst of power and get right past him. That's pretty much what we've got to do here. And, that seems to be good according to plan. We also need to make sure that we keep high enough speeds up so that the people behind aren't a threat, because we are storming away. I don't know how we're gaining so much ground, but we have somehow. I guess maybe it's just the like power that I have available at the press of a button. It's overwhelming just how much extra speed I can get. To think, well, I guess this car does have a pretty meaty electric engine, considering literally, without the button being pressed, you're being powered by a V4 engine. That's right, a V4. And we're able to hold the car steady at over 200 miles an hour with it. That's pretty impressive if you ask me. I mean, that is, I guess, more down to the way the car's set up, but, you know. We're on lap 7 now. I need to keep a track on the lap timing as well, because if I don't, then I'm going to miss the chance to make the run. Get really close to this chuff now. I'm trying to be as conservative as I can now, so I can build up as much power as I can, basically. He seems to be almost getting a little bit slower through these corners. I'm obviously pushing him really hard, so the tyres are going to be wearing down a bit more. Our tyres seem to be perfectly fine. We could go on for quite a while on these mediums. Give it a little bit more juice. But yeah, the Indy cars seem to be struggling a little bit. Of course, this isn't going to end well coming into this corner. A lot of hybrid going on here to really get it up to speed, but by looks of things we should have enough to make that final lap charge that we want to do, so that's okay by me. You see, so we're constantly battling like side by side, and which is pretty spicy. We're going to come around now to turns 3 and 4 for the final lap. I did want to do qualifying in this event, but I don't know if I said this earlier, but the map's shit, so qualifying doesn't work. Only I go out in qualifying. So yeah, I'm going to put a little bit more juice down here to really sort of push it up behind him. Get that draft, try and stock up as much power as we can going through these 2 corners and maybe even jump him. This is not going to happen. Oh, that late check though. Fuck me. And then more for us. It's going to be on the power coming out of the corner, up to 224. Looks like we're going to have a bit less power than I anticipated, but we still should have enough to be able to make it past him and take the win. So, we're going to hold the button down now. Coming through turn 4, round the outside, and we're just going to keep it held until it literally runs out. And with ease, we're going to take the checkered flag and win. I shouldn't have let off the wheel, that was a bad idea. Yep. Woo, there we go. That was pretty easy, not gonna lie. But of course, that did... I say it was pretty easy, but... you have to think of a lot of things as you're going along, and if you kind of lose track of one of them, you're gonna fuck yourself over royally. And I guess it kind of worked out perfectly that we were able to run away from everyone, because you see, like, we're almost 3 seconds ahead of everyone else. So it meant we were, well, it meant I had an easier time because I didn't have any other cars to battle other than the leader after the first couple of corners. So, you know, it meant I could just take the preferred line. You know, I had all the free space in the world to do. But anyways, I think that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy it, like I appreciate it, subscribe for appreciate as well. If you want to see more of these, let me know. If you have any ideas for these kind of videos, remember the concept for these videos is a real life race with a car that never raced in that series but has a realistic chance of winning, like you've seen here today. So yeah, be prepared to see more of these in the upcoming weeks. I'm not going to like post loads of them in a day, but I'm hoping to get a few more out, at least one, at most one per week. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. So when I do start running ideas, of course it will figure out. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.